Welcome back to the Menopause Movement podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Gordon, and today we are joined by one of our MENO mates, Amanda. Now, Amanda and I, in the interview, talk about what her life was like before joining the MENO system and what it's like now. She talks about how connecting with the community and her fellow MENO mates made her feel less alone in menopause and in her life. We discuss how she transformed her body and lost more than 35 pounds since joining the program. She tells us what being a MENO mate means to her and how her entire life has changed after purchasing the MENO system. Now, to discover how Amanda changed her life and find out more about the MENO mate way of living, join us in Manchester, UK on the 25th of April 2020 at the Doubletree Hilton Hotel in Manchester, Piccadilly. At this one-day workshop, you will discover the MENO mate way of living and find out how to rethink menopause. It's not all just symptoms. At the workshop, you will have a safe place to talk about menopause, and we are breaking the silence on this phase of our lives that sometimes feels like a secret society that no one ever talks about. The hotel is close to the train station so that you can commute in if you want. There are also a limited number of bed and breakfast overnight rates at the hotel. Early bird pricing is in effect until 15th of March 2020, so make sure you go to menopausemovementlive.com right now to sign up. That's menopausemovementlive.com. Now, at the end of the episode, make sure you visit drmichellegordon.com/podcasts. That's an S at the end, podcasts, where you can find the show notes, plus the link to the live workshop in Manchester where you can buy your tickets. If you enjoy the episode, make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you are always the first to know when each episode is released. And thank you for all of the 5-star reviews. If you have questions about the topics covered in this or any other podcast, I invite you to open a conversation with me on Instagram at Dr. Michelle Gordon. That's DrMichellelleGordon. I promise I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Now, let's get on to the interview with Amanda. And thank you so much for being a part of the Menopause Movement. I'm here with Amanda, one of the OGs here of the MENO mate. She's actually in the second group, but she's still pretty much an OG. So,
is that old girl?
No, original group.
Original. I thought it meant old girl. I was going to say, well, I am old.
What I want to talk with Amanda about a little bit is how her life has changed. Now, what I won't be able to do is share those before and after photos. So, Amanda, you may need to. I don't know if you can share your screen, or we can put them in the comments later.
I put them in the comments later. I don't touch my phone because of the Wi-Fi on my phone, so I'll just won't touch anything.
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
I won't even breathe.
So, why don't you just let us know your name, where you're from?
Okay, my name's Amanda. I'm from Liverpool in the UK.
All right. And Liverpool is famous for the Beatles?
Beatles and football.
Football. We call it soccer in America, right?
And the friendliest people, of course.
The friendliest people. Yeah, and a bit of a sarcastic sense of humor.
Oh, yeah, really, really, yeah.
Yeah, so what else? Fish and chips and mushy peas?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to introduce you to.
I don't think so. That mushy pea sounds disgusting.
No, it's really nice.
I like I'll eat mashed potatoes, but I don't know about mushy peas. I don't know. So how can you just tell me how you came across the menopause movement?
Oh yeah, for like the third time. Hopefully it won't freeze. Okay, so at the beginning of July, I was just flicking through Facebook, and I literally came across you purely by accident doing one of your daily live streams that you were doing at the time.
Yeah.
Wasn't searching for anything to do with menopause or anything at all, literally just flicking, and just happened upon you. Just happened upon you, and I thought, oh, well, let's see what this American has to say.
The Yank.
There's a Yank. I did. I called you a Yank. Let's see what this Yank has to say.
The Yank has to say. All right. How long did you really listen in on the live streams before we had an offer for you?
Okay, so after that first one, And it was really interesting because what you were talking about, which was everything to do with menopause, but mindset as well, really resonated quite heavily with me. I hadn't thought about specifically looking for help and support with it, even though I was struggling with it. But it was just like fate that I fell upon. So I started listening to you every single day then on the daily lives. And it was probably about a month later, yes, it was August, that the MENO System opened, your 8-week course opened. And I thought, yeah, I want into this because I need to. I think what you talked about during the live streams, the daily live streams, was everything that I was dealing with, suffering with, battling against. And it wasn't just to do with menopause symptoms, the physical symptoms like the lack of sleep and the wanting to rip people's heads off like instantly. And it wasn't just about the physical symptoms. For me, it was more about the my mindset
Right.
wasn't in a great place,
Yeah.
and really needed to deal with that probably before I could tackle my symptoms themselves.
Well, we talk a lot in the program. I talk a lot on the lives about who we're being, right?
Mm.
And when we can become that person that we want to be, and we can start acting as if. So one of the things I use this example a lot. I say, if you want to lose 100 pounds, you have to start acting like that person who's already lost 100 pounds, right? So you want to lose 100 pounds. How does that person move their body? How does that person eat? How does that person think? Right. And so we spend a lot of time talking about that. But in the MENO system, we have developed a program, and it's really the MENO Mate way of living, right? And
It is.
the MENO Mate way of eating, the MENO Mate way of moving, the MENO
It
Mate
is.
of thinking, the MENO Mate way of connecting, right? And so with the MENO Mate, once you became a MENO Mate, right, that's when things started to shift for you.
It did. Historically wise, just to let people know, I'd had an accident back in October 2011, and up until then, I'd been like super active, like stick thin, like just really, really a full-on life. So up until then, I had had a full life before my accident, and my accident ended up damaging my spine. Not my spine, my discs in my spine, 3 of them. Subsequently, I had an operation which was supposed to fix it, but it actually went really wrong and left me with permanent pain management for the rest of my life. So that was 2011. So between 2011 and last year, 2019, at some point, and I had to medically retire from work because I could no longer, my mobility was really poor, and my pain management was not under control, not as much as it is now. So somewhere in between, menopause hit me, but I didn't know it was menopause. I just thought it was because I wasn't active anymore. I wasn't as mobile as I was. I was gaining weight like mad. I didn't feel as though I was overeating, but I was eating the same thing. I couldn't exercise. So I just figured it was because of that.
Okay.
But then I started getting the other symptoms, like I had always been cold my whole life, really, really nesh, like super cold all the time. And I was like standing outside in the backyard in the middle of winter because I was so freaking hot permanently.
Yeah.
So at some point I thought, I wonder if this is menopause starting. So I went to my GP and they talked to me, did some blood tests, and oh yeah, you're starting menopause. Here's the patches.
Well, I just want to roll back for 1 second, because you said that you piled on weight, but you ate the same way.
I did.
And
I've not increased my food. I just stayed eating the same, but then piled the weight on.
right. And is that something that's happened to you? Because this is a very, very common complaint that we hear from ladies in menopause, that they have just the weight and this happened to me too. I put on 50 pounds like seemingly overnight. And I was kind of an athlete. I mean, I was like lifting weights, and I was running, and I was riding a bike, and I still had so much trouble losing weight until I discovered the MENO Mate way of living. And then I was able to lose that 50 pounds.
That was the same for me. I'd done Zumba. I was doing Zumba every week, twice a week. I was running, I was swimming. So I was like really like quite super fit and like really healthy. And I'd always had pretty good diet anyway. And, you know, I was really skinny. And then I just thought it was because I was no longer active because of the accident that I was just piling this weight on. But when the other symptoms started creeping in, like wanted to kill people, which, I mean, I've always had a hot temper, but I've never really wanted to rip anyone's head off before.
Yeah.
And I went from like 0 to 100 within like seconds, and everyone was staying away from me more than normal. I figured there was something going on.
For anyone who is a podcast listener, in the Menopause Movement podcast, I think it's episode 28. It might be 29, but we interviewed Tina. Tina is a CBD expert and the benefits of CBD in menopause. So don't miss that. It's the Menopause Movement podcast. You can get it on YouTube. You can get it on Apple or wherever you get your podcasts. But today we're talking with Amanda, and we're talking about her experience as a MENO Mate and her transformation as she began to live, you know, the MENO Mate way. And so what I want to ask you next then is, you know, before you decided to enroll in the program, right? What was your biggest skepticism before signing up? Because that's always the you know, the key is like, you know, I don't want to part with my money because like, is this a scam? Right. So what's your biggest skepticism?
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought. Yeah, this is a scam. Everybody promises you everything. It's on Facebook, so there's going to be definitely a scam attached to it, and yeah, I have to be really careful here because you know you do hear of people getting caught out. They lose their money, and people promise things and then they don't deliver. So yeah, I was wary. But the more I listened to the daily live streams and the more I listened to the ladies who were already in the membership, had already gone through the first tranche, so to say, and listening to how not only had it benefited them from a symptom point of view, it had hugely improved their symptoms, but it was also, for me, the biggest thing was to do with the mindset, because I knew for me, it didn't matter how many symptoms I was suffering from. If I couldn't get my head in the right place, I wasn't going to fix the physical symptoms. I needed to get my head in the right place. So listening to the ladies who'd already gone through it kind of was the proof I needed that.
Yeah.
It probably isn't a scam, to be honest with you. What I need to do is, even though part of me still thinks maybe be a scam, I'm just going to take the risk and I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah.
And I did.
And did the fact that there was like a 60-day guarantee help with making that decision?
Yeah, for sure, because it was like a bit of a net to catch you just in case, you know, you didn't feel comfortable, if it wasn't secure, it wasn't for you. So that again added to the fact that, oh, maybe this is actually for real and it's authentic. So yeah, all that helped. But for me, looking back now, even though I was probably sensible at the time to be wary, it was the biggest life changer for me. It not only changed my life for the better, but it undoubtedly saved my life because I was in a very, very bad place mentally wise.
So my next question then is, and you started to touch on this, Amanda, is, you know, after enrolling in the program, how did your perception change? And I want you to think back to, you know, the very beginning, because, you know, I remember, because in the program, what we do, so just for anyone who's watching and is interested in becoming a MENO Mate, when the doors open again, and they're closed now, you can't become a MENO Mate right now, but they will open soon, probably sometime before the end of next month. We'll be opening the doors again. But for somebody, you know, what the program is 8 weeks, and we do weekly coaching calls with me. Yeah. And they're group coaching calls. It's fun to watch because a lot of people don't want to talk in the beginning. And you were like that. You did not want to talk. So we do these weekly check-ins, right? We do weekly coaching calls. And just one thing was, you never talked in the beginning. You just sat there and kind of. So the question I have for you then is, you know, after kind of getting enrolled in the program and getting started and doing the homework, how did your perception change? And this is maybe before the real transformational module. We'll get to that. But let's talk about like the first few modules and how your perception changed.
Yeah, so I didn't really know what to expect at first about the 8-week course of the MENO system itself. It's kind of, it's not like going back to school. It's nothing like as formal as that. You know, you can do it at your own leisure, at your own pace. But for me, I think what really helped with the modules was understanding what was actually happening from a symptom point of view. So understanding about the hormone changes, the hormone levels. You know, we go in and learn an awful lot about healthy foods, what's, you know, the bad fats, what's the good fats, because some of it I already knew, but a lot of it I didn't know about. You know, we learn about the sugars. I mean, there's so much. It's not just all the physical stuff, but it's about the healthy stuff as well.
Yeah.
About exercise, about movement. I mean, again, I kind of knew about exercise, but then for me, I thought I knew enough, but I didn't know enough. I thought I knew a lot about healthy eating. I didn't realize that there was so much more to it until the MENO system. And the good thing about the MENO system is you can nip in and out of the modules whenever you like. You can take your time. You can go as fast as you like. You can go back. You can recap. And it was, for me, understanding what exactly was happening was the key for me being able to say, right, okay, now I understand what's happening. I need to change this now.
Yeah.
And then that's where the mindset came into it.
So we start talking about, in the MENO system, we talk about the MENO Mate way of eating. We talk about the MENO Mate way of moving. We talk about the MENO Mate way of thinking, and then the MENO Mate way of connecting. And so what's the specific example of a breakthrough or an aha for you that had a specific impact on your life in going through the program?
For me, it wasn't so much about, I mean, look, before the MENO system, I joined the MENO system. Yeah, you can Google some stuff about symptoms and things like that. And, the hot sweats and hot flush, we call them hot flushes, you call them hot flashes. You can Google all about the symptoms, but what you can't really do is talk to someone about it. And when I went to my GP, she just wanted me to slap me on a patch, and that was it. There was no real discussion. And when I asked her some questions, she didn't really understand, or she did understand, but she just had very limited answers. And I actually have to say, to be honest with you, I did go on the patches, and the first one was a godsend for me, because within 3 or 4 days, I no longer wanted to rip people's heads off. And I know the patches don't work for everybody, but actually it did for me. I think for the MENO system, the aha for me was the fact that I was no longer going through it alone.
Right. So you had,
because
so the MENO Mate way of connecting was the biggest aha for you, and having a group of women to talk to.
Yeah, I had felt very much alone when I realized I was in on menopause.
Sorry.
Yeah, and then to be honest with you, you talk about it, and then other women say, "Oh yeah, we just have to go through it." And some have gone through it for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and I thought, there is no way that I am putting up with this and feeling like this for another 10 or 20 years,
right.
And especially feeling on my own.
This is really key, because menopause, the symptoms of menopause can last 20 years or more, right?
Yeah.
And,
exactly.
and the question I have is, for the women who are watching, and if you're watching and we're 22 minutes into it, thanks for continuing with us. Or if you're here and you've just come on, please check in and let us know you're here. But, menopause is, a lot of women think that menopause is suffering, right? And I'm here to tell you that menopause does not have to be suffering, and suffering is optional. Suffering is optional in life. And what we discover in the MENO system is, when we get through the MENO Mate way of eating and the MENO Mate way of moving, we get to the MENO Mate way of thinking. And then as we understand the MENO Mate way of thinking, we then really get to the MENO Mate way of connecting. So as we get to the MENO Mate way of living, right? What specific breakthroughs or ahas happened in your life?
Do you want to know what it is that I changed about my life in order to?
I want to know, actually, not, we don't need to know specifics. I want to know how, the overall, like, did you, did your relationship with your family and yourself change, or how did that change? Did it affect?
Oh, okay.
So Amanda's talking about her breakthroughs. So why don't you talk a little bit, Amanda, about how your life changed as you started to implement the MENO Mate way of living?
Well, apart from the fact that since July, and I think I've already put the before and after pictures on, but I looked pretty horrendous. I have a pile of weight on. I've lost just over nearly 2 3/4 stone now.
Two and
Through
three quarters stone. So for the Americans, that's about 35 pounds, 37 pounds, right? So let's be, let's call it what it is. I mean, that's a significant weight loss. So
yeah, and
before joining the MENO system and the MENO Mate way of living, you were about 37 pounds heavier than you are now. And
yes,
after understanding the MENO Mate way of living, you were able to implement some changes in your life that resulted in a 37-pound weight loss. So can you just, for comparison, can you talk about like what size you were wearing before and what size you're wearing now?
I think our sizes are different to the US.
That's okay.
So I was a size 16 back in July, and I'm a size 10 now.
Wow.
So it's not just about the weight loss. As I said previously, I had lots and lots of, apart from my back condition, I was really breathless, struggling just to get up off the sofa, which is ridiculous. Struggling to get up the stairs. I ached everywhere. So losing all that weight, and it's not been it's since July, it's been consistent. So some weeks has been 1 pound, 2 pounds. Some weeks I've not lost any, but I've not gained any. I did gain 3 pounds over Christmas, but then I like mince pies, so I didn't, I didn't neglect myself on that.
Yeah.
But I think for me, as somebody's just said, my family just probably really hated me because I was in such a bad place, so grouchy, really bad temper. And then they started seeing the transformation in me from when I joined the MENO system. And to be honest with you, once I'd completed it and then joined the membership, people were noticing that I had completely changed, not look from a physical point of view, but from the inside. I was so much calmer. I was not wanting to rip people's heads off. I was just a different person. And I think also, to be honest with you, what you introduced as well is about meditation. And I'd always kind of poo-pooed meditation because I always thought it was people who were hippie type people who did meditation. So it just was not for me. I'm not that type of woo-woo type of person. And actually, it's the biggest part of my life now. I meditate twice a day religiously. And for me, starting that in first thing in the morning and finishing that at night has had a significant change. Because for me, no matter how many symptoms you suffer from, if you can't get it right in your head first and get the mental health part right first, you struggle then to get the rest of it right. It's all to do with the head first and the mindset.
Yeah. And what happens, I think, in menopause, we see this. What happens is that we start to have maybe mood swings, or we start to have brain fog, and we worry that we're having some sort of a mental illness, right? Mm. And there's such a stigma around mental illness that we're afraid to ask for help. So most likely it's menopause and not mental illness. Now, who knows? But I just want, I want you to know that if you're struggling, if you're one of these, if you're a woman who is really struggling with, lashing out, or really wondering what's happening, or you can't remember things, it's probably menopause. It's probably not Alzheimer's or something like that. And that's why we have the MENO Mate way of living, because the MENO Mate way of living can affect when you implement these in your life, it can affect everything. The women who are having a lot of memory problems because of what we teach in the MENO system, they implement these changes in their lives, they don't have as many memory problems. And I found that in my life as well. Now, Tina has asked you a question here, and she says, Amanda, what was your favorite module in the MENO Mate system?
Is module 6 the one that we always talk about?
Yeah, the MENO Mate way of thinking.
Okay, so for me, that was my biggest module. In fact, I've since gone back and done the module 6 twice more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because sometimes it doesn't go in straight away. I can be a bit slow sometimes. So sometimes it might take me a while to get something and for it to go in, but once I've got it, yeah.
That's okay.
It was module 6 was quite a detailed module. So I think I took my time with that, but I have since been back to it twice because it's an ongoing journey. Just because I've been through the MENO system, last year in August, and then I've been in the membership since September, doesn't mean that I still don't struggle occasionally with various situations and things. And for me, having those modules to go back through and to reflect on has been an absolute lifesaver for me.
Yeah,
Because
I think that's
not
not
alone.
just you. I think that's a lot of the MENO mates have gone back and
We have.
got it,
Yeah.
and that's really, and obviously, when you buy the MENO system or, when you come to Menopause Movement Live and buy it there, but when you're a member of the MENO system, you have access to the course that you purchased, as long as for the lifetime of the course. So what I'd like to ask you then, so we have our workshop, our 1-day workshop that's coming up on 25th of April in Manchester, UK at the Doubletree at Piccadilly Circle, right?
Doubletree Hilton Hotel.
Yeah, at the Piccadilly. Is it Piccadilly Station or
yeah,
Piccadilly Circle?
Yeah, it's by Piccadilly. No, that's in London. It's by
Okay.
Piccadilly. Don't say Circle because you'll end up in London. Yeah, it's Piccadilly Station. It's the Doubletree Hilton Hotel in Manchester, Piccadilly.
So we have this live event, and to buy tickets, just go to menopausemovementlive.com. If you want to have the same discoveries that Amanda had, we're going to be talking all about the MENO Mate way of living at that 1-day workshop, and it's so exciting. I'm so excited to meet so many of you. And we decided to go to Manchester, UK, because it's first of all, it's a really cool city. And secondly, a lot of the MENO mates are in the UK, and I thought it would be really great to have a MENO mate meetup. And I said, well, if we're going to have a MENO mate meetup, let's go ahead and have a workshop. And so that's what we're doing. Seats are limited. So, and we have early bird pricing until the 15th of April. So go to Menopause Movement.
15th of March.
Yeah, 15th of March. Sorry. menopausemovementlive.com. So not the 15th of April. I apologize. Early bird pricing until the 15th of March. menopausemovementlive.com. All right. So the next question I have for you, Amanda, is for someone who's on the fence, who's considering, either enrolling in the MENO system or coming to the 1-day workshop, what would you say to them?
I think the way I've looked at it, not just with the MENO system, but with the membership as well. And I was in a gym, and I did what a lot of people did. I bought a gym membership when I kind of got my pain management under control and I knew I could start moving again. And I did what a lot of people did. I got my membership and I used it religiously for the first couple of weeks. And then I started procrastinating and saying, oh, I'm making excuses and I can't go and I'm too tired and blah, 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 and all this. And then I was still paying monthly for this membership. And I thought, this is absolutely ridiculous. So I thought, why not spend my monthly membership on the gym on a monthly membership in the menopause movement? Because that then covered all about healthy eating. You get new recipes every single month, 5 new recipes. It gives you all the workouts, all the exercise workouts every single month, new workouts. Similar to the MENO system, it also gives you modules to look at each month as well. Month 1, month 2, every single, and it was ongoing. So I thought, why am I paying for a monthly gym membership when 1, I'm not really using it, 2, I'm going in there, I'm feeling really awkward. I hate people watching me in the gym. I hate having to wait to get on apparatus. I hate being on an apparatus and someone waiting for me. I always felt rushed. It wasn't for me. And then I'd look around and you see all these super fit young girls and guys, and I thought, no, I should not be here. And then it was like the most logical thing. Why am I not paying for my menopause movement membership when I can get all that and more, plus the most fantastic group of women? Because we meet up, as you say, you know, we Zoom in once a week. When do I ever get to, you know, also ask expert advice, you know, from you as a doctor as well? You know, I have to either wait until I'm dying to see my GP, because to get an appointment in my surgery is nigh on impossible unless you're God. You know, I didn't really have any other experts to talk to. I had Google, but I didn't understand a lot of what it was saying. Even in the MENO system, you know, if we're not talking to you face to face, we can message you in the group, private message. And that was another huge thing for me, having you kind of there,
Yeah.
but in a confidential manner on the other end of the keyboard, to say, oh God, I'm having a bad day, or this has happened, or I need to understand about this, or can you help me with this?
Yeah, there is an
Probably,
option. There is an option for private coaching. It's not included in the MENO system, but that's something that is included later on as an option. But it's not standard. But Amanda was a part of that, and she had private coaching as well. And so what we have is
yeah.
you could consider it like a text messaging. So you just send me a message, and then I answer within a day or so. And that's really worked out to help, because oftentimes
Yeah.
I think when it comes to menopause, can start to have some breakthroughs in their lives, and then there can be some difficulties because changes happen. And
Mm.
when you have changes, for better or for worse, whatever the changes are, that can cause some stress. And so what we offer is we have a forum where we have, the ability to have
Mm.
private chats with
Mm.
each other, and then there's an option for private coaching with me. And so
Mm.
that's helpful. I think that's become very helpful for a lot of the mental mates, for
I
sure.
think all of us, to be honest with you, because, you know, up until now, husbands don't understand us, no matter how much we try and explain the symptoms. You know,
Yeah.
the kids don't understand us because they just see us as the biggest grouch ever. Mum, you've just turned into a big bear. You know, some friends of mine either still haven't gone through it or started it, and some were like, oh yeah, you just got on with it. I didn't want that. I wanted to be able to talk about it, to express, to share, you know, views and opinions. And that forum that we have is godsend for me, because it's safe, it's confidential. You know, we literally are all going through a very similar, if not the same journey. And just to have, knowing that you're not alone, is probably the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, yeah. So again, for somebody who's on the fence and thinking about opening their wallet, thinking about, making a purchase, right? And I like to say that, and this isn't original. This comes from one of my mentors, James Wedmore, but he says that
Mhm.
the transformation begins with the
Mhm.
transaction, and
Yeah.
that's why we don't do it for free. Because oftentimes, when you put your money down, you begin to then start to pay attention. So people who pay attention, and that's why we charge for it. We charge for it because
Yeah.
number one, this is a business, and I'm not afraid to say this is a business. We don't do it for free, but
Mm.
we do a lot of free stuff.
Mm.
We got the podcast, and we've got the free lives, and there's all sorts of free stuff. But when you actually do the transaction, and you find the ability to, find the finances to invest in yourself, right? That's when the transformation starts. So for somebody who's on the fence about making an investment in themselves, in the MENO system, or in the membership, or coming to the live workshop, what would you say to them?
I would say you do it. I would say take that leap of faith. I did. Never look back. Still don't look back. Still pay my monthly membership. It's the best It's the best group. It's the best club I've ever paid a membership to, ever.
Nice.
I mean, it really is, to be honest with you. And I agree with you. If it had been free, I probably wouldn't maybe have taken it as seriously. And because if I buy something, I want to get a good use out of it,
Yeah.
whether it's an item of clothing or whether it's a service that I'm paying for. I want to make sure that I get my money's worth. So when I bought into the MENO system, I thought, well, okay, I've taken the leap of faith. I need to get out of it what I'm paying for now. So I took it seriously, and it's, you know, it doesn't just, it's not just handed to you. You do have to work at it. It's not like going to school or college or anything like that. It's much more relaxed and laid back. But there is stuff that you have to do nevertheless. And I really, really was serious about understanding what was happening to me, myself, in order to change, because I knew I was not a particularly nice person.
Yeah.
And I knew that
But
people did.
self-discovery is a big part of the whole program, right? And that's
Yeah,
and yeah, you know, I mean, if you do the work, you're going to get the results you want. And that's,
and I did.
if you don't do the work, obviously you're not going to get the results you want. But also,
Yeah.
you know, when you buy the MENO system, there is a guarantee, and
Yeah.
I don't remember it's a 30 or 60-day guarantee. I mean, we haven't, you know, and it's not on offer right now anyway. But we do have a money back guarantee because, you know, obviously we want to make sure that we assume some of the risk because it's online and
Yeah.
because people are skeptical of online things. But genuinely, I mean, I guess the question is, I mean, do you feel before the MENO system, did you feel that there was possibly a community that would care about you?
No, I didn't know there was any community who would care about me. I thought once the GP had done the blood tests and told me that, oh yeah, you've started menopause, and here you go, there's your patch, and bye.
Yeah.
For me, that was it. I thought, oh, okay, so what do I do now? Because I'm still horrible. You know, my family is still not liking me. You know, I can't live like this anymore. I look pregnant. It really got me down, the fact that I looked just pregnant permanently. The clothes didn't fit me. I was damned if I was going to go out and buy any more clothes. And then literally when I fell across you by accident, and I just started listening to the daily lives, at least it was about 3-4 weeks before I bought into the MENO system when it became open. I thought, yeah, this is what I've been looking for. I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah.
For me, it's just, as I say, and why wouldn't you? I mean, you know, I've been on Amazon that much. I kind of Googled about different supplements, didn't really know what I was buying or what I was doing, but thought, well, I'll try this one, and I'll try this one, and I'll try this one, and I'll do this. And, you know, bought the membership at the gym. And I thought in the end, bloody hell, you know, I've spent all this money and I've still got absolutely nowhere, still look pregnant, still want to rip people's heads off.
Yeah.
So it's not working. And the biggest leap of faith was the MENO system, and then buying into the membership, and I'll probably be in it for life.
So the question I have for you is, how much money do you think you spent before you came across the MENO system in the menopause movement?
Well, I suppose looking at all the different things I bought, which I thought I needed from Amazon, and the different books and the gym membership and all things like that, I probably spent, oh, I don't know, oh gosh, probably at least between 500 and £1,000, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like $1,500, maybe $1,300 now, I think.
And now it's just like, you know, when I look back now, buying straight into the MENO system was nothing in comparison to actually the transformation it's given me. It's worth so much more. And then the membership itself, especially not only from the ongoing learning, and the recipes and the exercises, from the community, knowing that we're no longer alone, is invaluable.
Yeah.
And I would strongly recommend anyone to come to the one-day workshop in Manchester, because you just need to take that leap of faith and just give it a chance. And come and meet us. We'll tell you.
I'm gonna meet the MENO mates. We're gonna have the question and answer with the MENO mates, and and so it's menopausemovementlive.com is how you can buy tickets. The last thing I want to ask you, really, Amanda, is there anything else that you were hoping to share? If you had the opportunity to say anything you want to, you know, the women who are watching, the people who are watching the replay, the people on the podcast, what would you say to them?
You don't have to suffer, and you don't have to do it alone. I thought for me, oh God, it's going to be another 10, 20 years of hell, but it hasn't been. You do not have to suffer at all. You don't have to take lots of pills and potions. Yes, we discuss about alternative therapies. We discuss about more natural ways. We talk about more natural ways of, you know, and healthy ways of eating and our exercise. But you just don't have to. I thought I was just going to be miserable for the next 20 years and just want to be suicidal or kill people for the next 20 years. But that's not the case at all. I am literally living proof of the fact that it literally does not have to be that like that. You don't have to suffer, and you don't have to go through it alone. We have built up probably, I have never belonged with a group of people. I never even went on girl holidays because I've never been particularly into girl holidays anyway, you know, going with a gang of girls. And I'd never really belonged to a group before. And I was really nervous and a bit skeptical. And I was really quiet, especially the first couple. And I didn't speak because I was embarrassed, awkward, nervous, everything and more. And then I realized, actually, these are my MENO mates for life now, because we're all going through different things as well. Not apart from menopause, we're all going through our own issues.
Yeah.
Because life's not perfect.
Nope.
And you know, we're all having our own struggles with different things. But we are and I have always been an advocate of going to speak to, you know, a shrink, a doctor, psychologist, whoever. But I don't. I have never been one to open up with anybody ever, which is why I was literally wetting myself before coming on here, because I felt sick. I have always been an advocate of other people seeking counselling or talking, and especially with mental health being a huge agenda at the moment in this day and age, that talking and communicating is the biggest thing. But for me, I struggled with that badly, and still do to a certain extent. This rabbiting of mine is just nerves. But suddenly in the menopause movement, in our membership, because it's private, because it's confidential, and because it's safe, and because because we meet up on Zoom in every week, we've got to know each other. We've got to learn all about each other. We've got to trust each other. And the biggest thing was the trust for me, because I don't trust easily.
Yeah.
And that for me was the biggest thing, because now I know that if I'm struggling with anything, even if it's not to do with menopause, if it's to do with something, anxiety or something that I'm struggling with, I can discuss it in our group now, and
So
I won't be judged.
say that where maybe other places may have not have felt so safe for you, we have created a safe place for you to talk about just about anything.
Yeah, I probably would never have done this anywhere else ever, even with my own friends. And I don't have a huge circle of friends. I have a small circle of friends, and I've known them all for years. And there's certain things I would never discuss with them.
Yeah.
Because it's me. I just never felt comfortable. You don't want to be judged, and we don't judge. We just don't judge. We're there to support each other through thick and thin.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've created this really safe haven of women who are supportive of each other and who do really help each other through everything. And it's been really, really, it's been great to facilitate, but I tell you, there's stuff going on that I'm not even involved with, because these women have become such good friends. Thanks for watching. If you're watching still, you're the type of person who is very interested. We have the early bird pricing now for the live workshop in Manchester, UK on 25th of April this year. We've got early bird pricing until March 15th, and you can go and get your tickets. They're very affordable. We decided to price them at a fraction of the price of the MENO System, because we want to help as many women as possible.
Well, look what they're getting for the price. I mean, it's a whole day. You're more or less going through the whole of the MENO System with them. You know, so they're going to have an opportunity to ask questions that they've probably never been able to ask anyone before. We've got lunch provided, we've got refreshments, and we've just got the most amazing community day altogether.
Yeah, it's going to be a really, really amazing day. So go to menopausemovementlive.com. Thanks so much for being a part of the broadcast today. And everyone, if you have questions for Amanda, just put them in the comments, and I'm sure she'll come in and answer them. So thanks so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Menopause Movement podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Gordon, and I wanted to take a moment to share what one of our community members has achieved since she's been working with me. Amanda has had an amazing transformation. Amanda was struggling with joint pain, hot flashes, forgetfulness, sleeplessness, weight gain, and an angry mood. In addition, she lost her confidence and self-worth as menopause crept up on her. Since joining the Menopause Movement membership, Amanda's quality of life has improved in ways no one could have predicted. She has truly transcended the symptoms of menopause and is now living her best life. This is what I want for everyone in the community. Take a listen to Amanda's story. I just want to show you what's possible when you join the community and do the work. Transcendence is available for you too. Now here's Amanda.
Hi, my name is Amanda. I am 54 years old and I live in the UK. At this moment in time, I'm in a fairly good place in my life. Recently, I've lost 18 pounds and I feel healthier and more content than I have done in a long time. However, it hasn't always been this way. Back in October 2011, I had an accident which resulted in a serious injury and surgery and subsequently changed my life forever. And over the next few years during my recovery, menopause crept up on me, but I didn't realise what was happening straight away. I started suffering from more joint pain. I went from always being cold to feeling like I was going to internally combust several times a day. I was getting really forgetful, my sleep pattern was terrible, I piled the weight on and looked pregnant, and I felt angry all the time. When things were at their worst, I felt incredibly alone and very down. I lost my confidence and self-worth, and I felt completely misunderstood and confused about what was happening to me. I received very little support or information from my GP, and there was limited information on the internet, but what I really wanted and needed was someone to talk to. The turning point for me was at the beginning of July 2019, when completely by accident, I came across Dr. Michelle Gordon's Facebook page on the Menopause Movement. At that time, she was doing daily live streams and I started listening to them. I related to a lot of what she was saying and I was really interested in the variety of topics about menopause that she was talking about, the alternative ways to manage menopause symptoms in a more natural way, and how your mindset is the key factor to transforming your life more positively. I was also really interested to listen to the other ladies in the group and what they had to say. Ladies who had been or were still suffering from similar symptoms to me. How a lot of them had been able to manage their symptoms much better and how they have turned their lives around and embraced menopause instead of treating it like a demon. Although nervous about taking a risk to join a group I didn't know, I knew that I couldn't and didn't want to carry on living my life the way I was and feeling the way I was feeling. So I made a decision that I too wanted to learn more about menopause, how to manage my symptoms better, and most importantly, learn more about my mindset and the fact that I needed help with changing my outlook on life in order for me to get it back. Life is nowhere near perfect, and some days I still have my struggles, but on the whole, I can honestly say that I am in a much better place than I have been for a long time, and for my down days, I understand better how to manage them so they don't get out of hand. I am now on a journey with a fantastic community of like-minded women, all of whom continue to support each other no matter where we all live, and I no longer feel confused, misunderstood, worthless or alone. For me, this group has been both a lifesaver and a life changer, and most importantly, the one-to-one private coaching sessions that are available with Dr. Gordon as part of the membership have been invaluable to me. They provide me with an opportunity to discuss more difficult and private issues that I am struggling with, and an opportunity to find solutions to address them. Without doubt, I can wholeheartedly say that I owe Dr. Gordon and her group everything for showing me how to take my life back and, more importantly, take control of it. Joining her membership has been the best thing that I have ever done. However, this course is not for everyone. If you're looking for a quick fix that doesn't cost you any time, money, or effort, then this is not the group for you. But if you're in a similar situation to how I was not that long ago, feeling desperate and at the end of your tether, but are willing to invest in your own future happiness and peace of mind, but are unsure as to what to do, ask questions and talk to Dr. Gordon. And if you choose to take that leap of faith, you won't regret it, because who wouldn't want to take their life back if they had the chance?
If you are feeling like Amanda, you're not alone. There is help for you in the Menopause Movement membership. I want to help you transcend your symptoms and live your best life. To discover how you can become a part of this life-changing community, go to menopausemovement.com.